Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Welcome into Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. For today, well, the rain moved south of our area. We've seen the heavier storms down into far south Alabama, but it's been a very wet July so far. We've had over 4.5 inches of rain in some areas so far this month. And typically July, surprisingly, it is our wettest month of the summertime. So this time of the year, we can have some big rain producers, which means this month I'm concerned, especially in the weeks ahead, we start to get into more of these stormy patterns. The concerns will grow for the risk of localized flooding, so we'll have to watch for that risk. Let's get you over to our First Alert weather headlines, and as we look at the setup for this evening, certainly not as stormy. You can see just a couple of isolated pop-ups there across East Alabama. The muggy levels back off a little bit. It's not a major drop, but it will be noticeable, especially tomorrow. But every day we go through these cycles, it's all relative, because every night the dew points and the temperature get closer, so the humidities go up at night. That's going to happen. It's going to be a little muggy at night, but during the day is when you're really going to notice with the lower dew points. We get to midday, afternoon, the heat levels won't feel quite as extreme. But as we look ahead, the very tropical-like air, the sticky air, that's really going to come back in a big way later this week. So I'm concerned we could see more storms in the afternoon. Some of those heavy rain producers we'll have to watch out for late Thursday, Friday, and also into our weekend. So that's what's on the way. In the tropics, things have settled down. We have a disturbance that's out over the central Atlantic, and that system, only a 40% chance for development. It's way out there. Not a concern to us. Things still quiet there across the Gulf of Mexico. Let's get you into radar, though, back here at home. You can see, again, a couple of pop-ups in Perry County right now around Marion, a little downpour that's popped up there that's tracking to the south. All this moving south, but there's a little shower there north of Talladega. That's why we kept that small 10% chance of rain in our forecast, but most of us will stay dry for this evening. Again, I was talking about East Alabama, where we're seeing some of those pop-ups. You can see south of Anniston, also around Logan Martin, moving to the south. But for folks driving along I-20 at this time, not seeing any slowdowns there because of the weather. Here's the forecast, keeping it at 10% there for the rest of this evening there through 8 o'clock tonight. It looks like the overnight will have lows around 70. We could see some fog out there during the overnight hours. Again, next big thing for us, these lower muggy levels for tomorrow, but you can see we start to get into what we call the muggy to gross area there Thursday and Friday. Quite sticky out there, swampy feeling there later on this week. But we'll be tracking those higher rain chances coming up for the weekend and taking you beyond the 7-day forecast as we continue right here on First Alert Weather Extra, and also coming up here on First Alert Weather Extra as we look ahead there towards the weekend. More on those how much rain we could see. We're talking about the slight lower humidity and some of these weather events that's been happening. Have you seen all this flooding been going on in the Northeast, landslides in California? A couple of big stories to bring your way as we continue right here on Weather Extra.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Good Day, Alabama.
A new morning comes with preparing right, because while you slept, news broke.
We have new information from that breaking news that happened this morning.
While you head out, the storm we gave you the first alert for is on its way in. And as the key turns the ignition, your shorter route to work is being found.
Avoid 459 southbound completely because of a crash.
A new morning means everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama, always on your side.
The First Alert traffic you need to get you there safe and on time. Tomorrow morning, everything you need for a good day is on Good Day, Alabama.
You're late, out the door, and on the go. Don't worry.
Good Day, Alabama continues all morning long.
And wherever you watch, this is what you need to know right now.
More reporters on the streets with more hours of news when you need it. Everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama. knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. A massive landslide has forced a dozen families to flee their homes in Los Angeles County, and officials say more homes may be at risk as the land continues to crumble. Kara Finstrom has more from Rolling Hills Estates in Los Angeles County.
Supervisor Janice Hahn is calling the situation here dire, saying the earth shifted what they believe is another 20 feet overnight. Take a look at the hillside behind me, just on the other side of this ravine. You can see it is just a jumble of split roofs and walls near the edge there. Our camera captured the sound of the homes shifting. And that is crazy to hear. SkyCal did fly above Pear Tree Lane. Some houses look like they are folding inwards. There are lots of cracks and fissures. Firefighters have red tagged 12 homes. The 16 people living in them, they were given only 20 minutes to pack up what they needed and leave on Saturday night. We learned today 10 of those homes are likely completely destroyed. The other 2 threatened. Officials first reported the land had shifted on Saturday afternoon. Homeowners say, though, they have been hearing popping and crackling sounds since Thursday. Power and gas, they have been cut off to that immediate area. At this point, it remains unclear what is causing the shift. There are lots of theories, and we are told a geologist will be studying the hillside and the soils. Here's more of what we heard just a short while ago from Supervisor Hahn.
The significant movement of the earth is unbelievable. I think it has moved another 20 feet from last night. We're now seeing entire homes that have collapsed and are into the ravine.
And Hahn said there's nothing they can do to stop the movement, calling it the most shocking and surreal thing she's ever seen. Tuscaloosa, weekend storms in our area gave Tuscaloosa County man quite a close call. He says this huge tree fell last night, missing his house by just a few feet. He says he's convinced it wasn't as much the wind that knocked the tree over, but the saturated ground from all the rain we've been seeing. And a first alert this evening on Weather Extra on a road closure in Birmingham that could impact your commute. 2 blocks of Richard Arrington Jr. Boulevard are closed in Birmingham's 5 Points South neighborhood and will be for the next 2 weeks. Construction company Brassfield & Gorey is leading a project on storm drain work, and crews have put up detour signs to help you around the construction. Well, some of those storm drains certainly put to the test over the weekend by several rounds of heavy rain. You're looking at video of an area in the Magic City we know can often flood. You see several cars stranded on Messer Airport Boulevard this morning. And not just here, but more now on the severe and deadly flooding happening in parts of the northeast U.S. Severe storms pummeling the region again today. All this while federal and state agencies try and assess the damage. Fox Weather's Katie Buren has more.
Heavy rain soaking parts of Vermont on Monday as deadly storms that pummeled southeastern New York move north. Communities bracing for potentially their worst flooding in years.
We have not seen rainfall like this since Irene, and in some places it will surpass even that.
The worst damage, though, seen in New York's Hudson Valley, where these storms turned deadly on Sunday. Officials say a woman in her 30s died while trying to escape the rising floodwater. With more rain in the forecast, Governor Kathy Hochul is urging people to be prepared.
You need to think about your escape route. You need to anticipate the worst case scenario where the floodwaters are rising in your home.
Here in Orange County, the Red Cross opened an emergency shelter for folks affected by the flooding. State and local officials are also on the ground assessing damage to roads and bridges. People here now trying to make sense of the devastation.
We woke up to wood chips, rocks, fallen pieces, people's cars are ruined. Like, you woke up and you're like, a natural disaster hit.
According to tracking service FlightAware, these storms are also impacting travel in the skies. Thousands of flights were delayed or canceled by Monday afternoon. Some folks now scrambling to find a new way home.
There hasn't been a whole lot of guidance as to how to handle that. The next available flight looks like it's Tuesday right now.
Forecasters expect the rain to leave the region by Tuesday morning. In Highland Falls, New York, Katie Byrne, Fox Weather.
Well, in addition to summer rain, bugs are a big part of this season, and experts say they are seeing more fire ant colonies, which could be a health concern. It's especially a problem if you are allergic and get bitten. You could get sick or even die from anaphylactic shock. Temperatures hitting record highs is certainly causing these ants to pop up more and more, and experts say they are not going away anytime soon.
They're going to continue traveling north until they get to a point that it's too cool in the winter for them to survive, but they're pretty good at regulating temperatures inside those mounds that they build.
Why is my ankle suddenly itching? Experts say the best way to combat the issue is to get rid of the queen by using industry standard baits. Don't come for this, queen. Just kidding. Coming up next on First Alert Weather Extra, we'll take a look at that forecast for the rest of the week with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. Hey, it doesn't feel as awful outside as it could. Lower humidity on the way, and I'll take you for a trip beyond the 7-day. We'll be right back.
We heard the first alert. Mom says we have to go. She says I don't have time to grab any more toys.
Need to be in your tornado safe place. Get there right now as you have.
We have to get to our safe place because sometimes when you hear the siren, it's too late. That's why she says knowing first is everything.
We know weather can be grab the umbrella or jogging shoes, but it's so much more. It's a science, an art, led by knowledge and experience.
And no one has more of that than a WBRC First Alert weather team.
Warning you first with more hours committed to you. And the first forecast built to see weeks, days, and even minutes ahead, right down to where you live. From the team you trust on your favorite screen.
Doing the weather better. The WBRC First Alert weather team always on your side.
The first alert is more than a warning. It's a promise. A promise to get you out of harm's way with plenty of time to spare. 4 walls and a roof can be replaced. Lives can't. That's why knowing first is everything. First Alert weather.
Welcome back into Weather Extra. Our weather story right now is a drier trend in the forecast through tonight and tomorrow. Not seeing much as far as rain on First Alert AccuTrack radar. You get into Perry County, though, there are a couple of pop-ups, and folks here around places like Maplesville, you may encounter a brief shower moving to the south. But a lot of this that you see showing up, that's a little bit of ground clutter on radar. But looking at Perry County, Heiberger, and back in towards Sprott and places like Suttle moving south. So if you're in the Marion area, can't rule out a passing downpour. So if you're watching us here down into parts of West Alabama, but looking to the east, we've also seen a few of these showers. Nothing extreme here, just very light pockets of rain that have popped up. Most areas staying dry in here. It's one of those situations where it's raining and the sun shining that we're seeing there across East Alabama. But the big storms and the heavy rain, that's all moved south for now, down into far south Alabama. It has been a stormy setup here, folks, around Gulf Shores. Looks like we'll catch a break. This is going to be one of those nights, though, for folks there that like to get out and roam the beach after supper time into the evening. You look off the coast, you'll see some quite the lightning show there off the coast tonight for folks there along the beach. Looking at our weather, though, we won't be seeing much lightning on the horizon for tonight. It's going to be much quieter for us out there during the overnight. You can see those clouds start to thin out, but there will be some stratus, some low-level clouds making a return tomorrow. We'll get those morning low clouds, a little bit of fog. That's a concern I have with all the rain that we've had. Ground's very saturated. We've had some areas with over 4 inches of rain so far this month in West Alabama, and a lot of that happening yesterday, over 2 inches of rain in some spots. So watch out there for the wet weather. You can see around lunchtime Tomorrow, I should say watch out for the foggy weather after all the rain, but you can see around lunchtime tomorrow, we're still talking mostly dry conditions with sunshine, and I think by late morning and especially getting into the afternoon, that's when you're really going to notice that little bit of an improvement in the dew point. The heat index won't be quite as brutal tomorrow, so we get a little bit of a break there. It's not a major drop, but certainly you'll notice the difference into the afternoon. What you see here temperature-wise, that's what you'll get tomorrow. Highs closer to 90 degrees, and again through 5, 6 o'clock still looks dry. Wednesday, a little bit of a different story. High resolution data showing a few pop-ups, and even tomorrow to the far south and east, I still can't rule out a shower. You know, typically this time of year you get a little break in the mugginess. It doesn't last more than a day often around here. It doesn't last long. This is what we call the dog days of summer, and we are going to feel that stickiness coming back later this week. Look at Wednesday and a Thursday. That deeper moisture starts to build back in here, feeling very humid for the end of the week, and that's the storm fuel. That's what's going to keep those afternoon storms going, and that's why we bumped the rain chance up. Really going to start to see more afternoon development Thursday, Friday, and especially Saturday and Sunday. These afternoon storms, the typical summertime threat for a couple of stronger thunderstorms will certainly be there. That's on any given day in the summer when you have these afternoon storms that pop up. But the one thing we'll have to watch out for this week, especially with all the rain that we've had, localized flooding. That's going to be a big concern with any of those storms, especially if we have some slow movers later on this week. So meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Lauren, a big shout out to you and the team for keeping watch on things last week, as I enjoyed a little off time, even though there were storms. It was almost a daily thing.
Yes, but you deserved it, Wes. So I hope you were able to soak up all the stormy weather and enjoy that time off. In the meantime, you may be wondering, all right, what is it about more storms in the forecast as we go into the weekend? And how about beyond the 7-day? Wes mentioned we're in the dog days of summer. So what's that temperature outlook? What are the storms looking like? We'll break it all down for you. So 6 to 10 days from now, it does look like predominantly across Alabama, we could be seeing temperatures trending above average. So our average high temperature this time of year is right around the low 90s. So as we look ahead to next week, we could see the possibility of low 90s in the forecast, but then look later next week into the following weekend and wrapping up July. Hard to believe that's when we could see a surge of some hotter temperatures back in the forecast. And of course, we expect the morning lows to be pretty uncomfortable. Hey, it's not going to be too bad tomorrow morning. 60s, not too shabby. And we've actually been seeing signs there could be another little weak front that comes through early next week. And so maybe we could see temperatures in the 60s again, but we know those are few and far between. So generally, it looks like the pattern is supporting hotter than average temperatures. And it also looks like, at least across north and central Alabama, 6 to 10 days from now, the possibility of above average rainfall. I was just talking about this with Wes today. It feels like we just get the rain dumped on us in July. I mean, think about it. The atmosphere, warmer air can hold a lot more moisture, so there's just so much moisture to be soaked up in the atmosphere, and eventually it just wants to release it all and dump it all on us like we saw this past weekend. So let's look at that futurecast beyond the 7-day. This is next Tuesday, July 18th, and what I want you to note is the mid-level flow here in the atmosphere. Notice that it's coming out of the northwest. That's what we're talking about when we say when you have a northwest flow pattern. A common saying is northwest flow is a weatherman's woe, because it's tricky to forecast and hard to identify when exactly these clusters of storms are going to be coming in. They come in from the northwest and push to the southeast, but weather models typically have a difficult time handling the exact timing on when they get here. So it's almost like you just kind of have to look at it a few hours out and say, oh, there's that cluster of storms headed our way. So that's something we could potentially be seeing into early next week. And then that could be bringing a better chance of some showers and storms. So it looks like that northwest flow pattern may want to stubbornly stick around possibly till the middle of next week. And then we begin to kind of tamper things off a bit with that. But still, you get into that typical summertime pattern, just scattered showers and storms in the forecast. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a higher than average chance of rain going into next week if we do have that chance for that northwest flow pattern to set up. Otherwise, going into not this weekend, but the following weekend, here we are Sunday, July 23rd, maybe beginning beginning to see a ridge of high pressure that's building in. And if that does happen, well, you can manage to get a few storms to pop up. But generally, you begin to see that pattern change and you see a ridge of high pressure that often can indicate above average temperatures. So we'll be looking at that in the days ahead. But, you know, we always love to talk about science here on Weather Extra. And one of our favorite things to do is to get out in the community and see you all face to face. And that's what meteorologist Tania Michelle and WBRC photojournalist Amber Somerville did today. Tania and Amber spoke. Oh yeah, I forgot they were going to do that. They all yelled Girls Impact. Well, Tania and Amber spoke at the Girls Impact Summer Boot Camp at Lawson State Community College today. The program tries to encourage young girls to explore STEAM fields, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Tania and Amber showed off the First Alert Storm Tracker and gave college and career advice to middle and high school students. Shout out to Dr. Thomas and Miss Whitlow for inviting Tania and Amber out. It looks like they had a great time. Next time I want to come too. I want to ride in the storm tracker. Tania's driving though. Actually, I should probably drive. Love Tania, but I should drive. So hope she's not watching right now. Cat lovers, it's your day to celebrate. I know Tania's more of a dog person, but hey, cat lady right here. Today is National Kitten Day, and it doesn't get much cuter than these lovable felines. Grab you a box of tissue because I could barely stand it when I saw these babies. So July 10th is set aside to observe all the fluffy adorableness that is kittens. Although let's be honest, for owners of kittens, every day is a holiday. My cat Ophelia would agree. But if you don't already have your own little fur ball to cuddle, head to a shelter to adopt or foster one. You can start volunteering with a kitten rescue if bringing one into your home isn't an option. Just don't forget the catnip. And there is nothing wrong with just watching videos of their tiny explore. Oh my gosh, that one looks like my kitten, or my cat is a kitten. Oh gosh. Watching videos of their tiny explorations, blah, 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 if that is your thing, whatever. Script. We just want to watch the video of the kittens. And I think on my dinner break, I'm good. Can you put the video back up? We've got time. Wouldn't you guys all love to see more kitten video? I would. Yes, look at those babies. Oh my gosh. I mean, come on. Whoever took this video needs to win an Emmy. I'm just saying. This is like some of the best file video I've ever seen of kittens in my life. Oh my gosh, look at them eating. Oh yeah, that one looks like a little version of my cat. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. Oh man, okay, well, it's getting emotional. Yeah, there's a minute left of video. Okay, well, I'm not just gonna sit here and narrate in a high-pitched voice. We'll move on. That brings us to the end of Weather Extra. It's Monday. I know we get the Sunday scaries. Monday can be a little moody, so we wanted to end with some kitten video for you. And if you want to get more on the weather, you can check back in with Wes tonight on First at 9 for an update on that forecast. And join us here on Weather Extra every weeknight at 6:30 on your favorite streaming platform. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a safe and happy Monday evening with your cat.